Good afternoon, my viewers. My name is Jeffrey, and I'm happy to be joined by my friend, uh, Rose Pengelly. And we're just here to talk about life in general, to get perspective from my friend, and just to look at life in general and learn a few things from his wealth of experience. And he's got a few perspectives that could be interesting to you, our viewers. But I'm happy that Rose could find time to come and talk to us. So good evening, sir. How are you?
You're welcome. And I'm all right for an old man.
What do you mean by old? How old are you?
83,
83.
going on to 84.
What is the secret to this long life that you
That's
have
what I asked my father when he was 99. And you know what he told me?
No.
Walking.
Walking.
Walking. That's
why
said.
you keep
But
walking.
he had been he'd been a shearer for most of his life.
Is that right? Lots of sheep you had.
Yeah. No. He was employed to shear somebody else's sheep.
Ah, okay.
He was no fat on him whatsoever. Just muscle and sinew.
Is that right?
That's right. Even at the age of about 95, muscle and sinew.
And bone.
Yes, and bone. Yes, yes.
All right. So thank you. Welcome, Rose. Thank you for sparing time to talk to us.
You're welcome.
So where were you born, Rose?
In New South Wales, Scone, New South Wales.
And how was it growing up as a child?
Well, Queensland, when I was one year old, because my father had to go elsewhere to seek work. So we moved to Queensland, which was the southwestern Queensland, fairly dry and hot, and spent about 17 years there. And then my family then moved to Toowoomba. But I spent very little time at home beyond the age of 15.
Why was that?
Because I had to go to school in the small town that I grew up in. No high school.
Okay.
There was no high school. The school finished at primary. And,
Is that right?
Yes.
So you travelled
So
far off to...
everybody in the school or in the town who wanted to go beyond primary had to go away.
Is that right?
I had to go to boarding school or go to another town to a hostel.
To attend high school?
To attend high school, yes.
Okay. How many were you?
Then,
How many were you in your family?
3.
Siblings? 3. Were you the eldest?
No, I was in the middle.
In the middle?
The older brother and the younger sister, both dead now.
Okay.
Both died of cancer.
Oh, sorry to hear that.
Leukemia in
Leukemia.
my brother, adult leukemia, and in my sister, pancreatic cancer.
Very sad.
Yes.
Yeah. How was your working experience transitioning
Well,
from...
I started work at the age of 14.
What were you doing?
I was working at the post office as a junior postal officer.
Junior postal officer?
Yeah, at 14, and I used to deliver telegrams.
What year was that?
Oh, that would have been 1950.
In the 50s?
Early 50s.
So it was telegram?
Yeah, it was yes. We used to deliver the telegram. We even took down. People used to phone in to us and say that they wanted to send a telegram.
Yeah.
So we used to take down the telegram.
Correct.
We had a little booth and a headset, and so we take down the telegram, write it down.
Yeah.
Then we'd send it to the man who sent it by Morse code. We gave it to him, and he sent it by Morse code.
Okay.
Yes.
And what was Morse code? Or what is Morse code? Typing.
No.
Yeah.
No. Each
letter.
it's like SOS. It was the message. The message method, or the way we used to send messages by just tapping a key.
Okay.
Yeah.
That sounds like you used to work in antiquity.
Yeah, it was indeed, because Morse code had been discovered in about 18 something or other.
Is that right?
Yeah, but anyhow, I worked there for for about 6 months.
Okay.
Then I decided to go back to school.
Ah.
So I went to a place in Armidale, a school in Armidale, which is in New South Wales, for about 6 months.
Okay.
Then I came back and then started work again. And I was going to be an electrician. So I started as an apprentice electrician, but only lasted 3 months because I was tired of crawling under houses and laying these cables, which we have to secure every 6 inches.
Is that right?
Yes.
Yeah. And you didn't like that.
No.
So what did you do after that?
After that, after 1 year of doing all that, I then went back to school again, but to a different school, to a boarding school.
Yeah.
But I only lasted a few months there because the education standard was so poor. I was paying money. I had actually paid the money that I earned when I was working as an apprentice electrician.
Yeah.
And it was such a low standard. I wanted to do science. I passed a chemistry examination in that school with a score of 46.
Out of what?
100.
Okay.
Yes.
And that was a high school then, or what?
It was a college. It was a sort of semi-prestigious college.
Is that
And
right?
it was appalling. So I said, this is no good. So I left and went back to the New South Wales government school.
Okay.
What I attended, and the standard was far, far higher. And I spent about 2 years, only 2 years there.
Okay.
Well, 2.5 years total.
Okay.
And then I sat for the leaving examination, which I failed. I failed to gain sufficient marks to enter university.
Okay.
But I did the University of Sydney entrance examination, which I passed.
Okay.
And then I went to university.
Very good. And what did you study at the university?
Eh?
What did you study at the university?
Geology, zoology, botany, and chemistry.
Was that in one degree or
Yeah.
under one?
In those days,
degree?
you majored in 2 subjects.
Okay.
So you actually got 2 degrees.
Yeah. Okay, so the double degree.
I did sufficient work in geology to become a geologist.
Okay.
And I did sufficient work in zoology.
And botany.
Yes.
So you also a zoologist.
Eh?
You are a geologist, zoologist.
Well, yeah, not now because so many years have passed.
Okay.
Yes, I could have, on graduation, post-graduation,
Yeah.
I could have worked as a geologist,
Okay, very good.
as well as a zoologist.
And did you get to practice any of that in your professional life?
Not geology, no, but
What did you
zoology. Zoology. I spent many years doing zoology.
Oh, is that right?
All my postgraduate degrees are in zoology.
In zoology.
Yeah,
So how?
master's degree, and a
Yeah.
doctorate
In zoology.
in zoology. Yes.
So you are actually a zoologist.
I am a zoologist,
Ah.
not a geologist.
So for our listeners, our viewers, so if somebody was to ask you, what does a zoologist do?
A zoologist
Do they go to the
studies
zoo?
animals. No, very few actually work in zoos.
So, okay.
Yes, most. Well, in my day, people, young graduates,
Yeah.
would have liked to have gotten a job as a zoologist in a museum, because once you get into a museum, you have the job for life.
Ah. So you study species? And,
Yeah. Oh yes, of course you do
Yeah.
all that.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, you study taxonomy, naming species,
Yeah.
the classification
Family,
of animals,
class, species.
as with physiology,
Yeah.
physiology,
As well.
biochemistry.
Okay.
I did 1 year of biochemistry.
Yeah.
For my degree. Biochemistry, physiology. Unfortunately, genetics wasn't in the curriculum.
Okay.
I did a far more intensive course in geology than
Okay.
in zoology
All right.
for the undergraduate.
I see.
Postgraduate, I taught myself really, postgraduate,
Okay.
because in Australia at that time,
Mm.
unlike in the American system, you don't have any formal courses in postgraduate work. In the United States, you have to pass all these formal courses
Yeah.
for postgraduate degree.
All right.
But in Australia, and I think it's still, it obtains to a certain extent now, no formal courses.
Okay.
You have to teach yourself.
Very good. All right. I think that's enough for your academic
Yeah.
life. You are a pretty learned person.
No,
Clever man.
no.
Now let's talk about some interesting things about you.
Yeah.
Because I've talked to you a little bit, and that's why I would like you to share your experiences with the viewers.
Yeah.
So what informs your worldviews? What informs your...
Well, that's because of my
Persuasions.
background, because of my father was a shearer, as I said.
Yeah?
So working class, very working, poor. We were poor, very poor.
Yeah.
Working class. I suppose the labour movement, workers.
Are you a unionist or something?
Well, yes, probably initially, but certainly not now.
So what happened? What changed?
The corrupt.
The unionists are corrupt, or the workers, or
yeah,
who's corrupt?
No, yeah, the whole, to be honest, Jeffrey, I don't know what the world is coming to.
What do you mean, Rose?
It's changed dramatically in my time,
Yeah,
in my life,
yeah,
dramatically.
yeah.
You can't trust people, and even today I read an article
Yeah,
on the internet
yeah,
from a very reputable site
yeah.
that written by a fellow who was a professor at the University of Sydney, that Australia is fascist.
Fascist?
Fascist, yes, fascist.
That's a very blanket
The,
statement for a
the
country.
Morrison government is fascist.
Oh,
Yes. You talk about corruption and whatnot in Africa. I think Australian politicians could go to Africa and teach African politicians how to be corrupt. True.
I think we will. Let's not get into that
All right, okay, yeah.
unqualified.
But yeah,
Statements.
the working class, I must admit, see, my grandparents were Seventh-day Adventists.
Oh, okay.
Yes, so,
So do you have any religious dispositions?
no, I did not, no. In fact, I suppose they, in a sense, sort of hardened my anti-religious because of their, because I can remember, I went to stay with them when I was 10 years old,
Yeah, your parents.
with my grandparents.
Oh, your grandparents, sorry.
And I was subjected to being at church all day.
And you didn't like it?
No, at the age of 10,
Okay.
when I could have been out watching cricket.
What?
I don't know,
Okay.
because, but anyhow, yes. So, and also, my father never attended the church.
I see.
But there was also a sense of fair play,
Yeah.
which I think was fairly prevalent in Australia at that time.
I see.
And that there were an enormous amount of racism.
Then?
Yes,
Then?
yes. I'll have to tell you about the racism in the small.
Let's do this. Well, let's hold it there for now. Take a short break.
Yeah.
When we come back, you tell me more about that,
Yes.
and I'll find out from you, is there racism in Australia? And you can compare in your growing up and probably now. But for now, we'll just take a short break.
That's different.
There's a big difference, yeah?
Oh yes.
All right, we'll take a short break, and then when we come back, Ross, he's told me not to refer to him as Dr. Ross because it's
No.
Australians
You
don't.
shouldn't,
You shouldn't, right? You want to be humble.
Yes.
Yeah, all right.
Even in scientific literature.
Yeah, you don't.
You don't. You say acknowledgement. You don't even say doctor. You just say Keith Pengelly.
Is that right?
Yes.
Does it
That has
come out
changed.
as
That
pride
has-
or what?
That has changed in the last 20 years.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
Oh, okay.
So that's worldwide now. Yes.
So no titles.
Yeah, no titles.
All right. In that case, Rose and I will be back shortly. See you in a bit.